Alrighty, so I'm just gonna record a little video about what I've been up to the past few days. So on, when did I last post a video? I think the last video was Tuesday. And so today is Wednesday, right? Or no, today is not Wednesday, today is Sunday, but the next day after Tuesday is Wednesday. Did I do anything on Wednesday? I don't really think so. What about Thursday? I think Thursday was a pretty boring day too. Okay, and then Friday my parents called me out of school, so I got to skip school. And I instead went to the beach and played in some tide pools. And so I started like trying to find shells. And I was pretending that instead of the shells, I was hunting for like live prey in the tide pools. And I was trying to find the biggest shell to take home. And so it gave me that like feeling of like trying to find a nice big prey to eat. And so that was like a really nice sort of species euphoria activity. And it was like pretty subtle. I don't think anybody else really noticed anything aside from just me climbing around the rocks picking up shells. And then after that I went to the beach on Saturday, and this time it was like a regular sand beach, not a rocky tide pool beach. There was a lot of sand, and the first thing I did once I was there was take off my shoes and go running into the water. And then there was this like big rocky like just kind of line that jetted straight into the water, and the water was really cold, so I quickly got cold and climbed up onto the rocks. And then I just kind of kept on going forward onto the rocks, and I started like doing quads across the rocks. And then I got to the very edge of the rocks and just kind of sat there and looked at the waves. And then the tide came in and a giant wave splashed all over me, and I got soaked and my tail got soaked, so I had to go home and wash the salt water out of my tail. But until I got soaking wet and salty, it was really nice. And it was a pretty view. And I took a couple selfies, but I probably won't post them because they don't have a very good perspective of where I was, so it seems kind of silly to post them. Then today, of course, was Easter, so I started the day with like a house Easter egg hunt where I got a basket of candy and an e-scooter, which was fun, and some makeup. I got some black lipstick, so you'll probably see black lipstick in a future video. And then we went to this place where they were doing an Easter egg hunt there, and I was too old to participate in the Easter egg hunt, but got to watch my brothers and cousin get eggs. And then we went over to a place with a bunch of baby animals, and I got to pet a baby cow and baby bunnies, and I held a couple chicks for the first time since I owned chickens a few years ago. Well, I owned chickens more recently, but they were babies like a few years ago. And then I also got to pet an orange cat, which, believe it or not, I don't think I've ever actually done. Because I've never owned an orange cat. I've owned a black cat, I've owned a tortoiseshell, a couple of Russian blues. We used to have a black and white cat when I was younger. I've petted a few gray cats, but never an actual orange cat, so that was fun. He was so derpy. He just laid down and started purring. And started like making little air biscuits while I was rubbing his side, and I was like, Critter, I don't even know you. He seemed very confused about the aloof cat stereotype. But then again, he was an orange boy, so like, who can blame him? And then there were also peacocks, and I got to see a fox. But I couldn't touch either of those, of course. And then I got to go pet some alpacas, and they were really soft. And I petted a few sheep, and they were soft, I guess. They weren't as soft as the alpacas, but the alpacas were also pretty skittish, so I couldn't pet them as much. And then we went home and we had the family Easter egg hunt, and then we did like this. And then this year, instead of candy, we did my parents filled eggs with like little arcade tickets, and then we auctioned the arcade tickets for prizes. And I got a giant squishy duck. And I also got this, I have candy in the beanie at the moment, but I got a cat ear beanie that matches my boyfriend's cat ear beanie. And then and I also got like this paint your own moon lamp set. And what else did I get? I feel like I got some more things. I got more putty, like my favorite type of putty that I like. It bounces if I roll it into a ball, and I like to make it into a little ball and chase it around. Like, that's the most shifty. Like, I get the most shifty when I'm chasing that thing around. And then, I had a lot of candy today, and my stomach's going to be pissed for a week, but worth it. So yeah, that's what I've been doing while I've been not posting as much. I intended to do a quads video today, but also my eyes hurt from keeping them open too much, so I'm probably just gonna end it here, and I'll get back to a regular quad schedule tomorrow. Alright, bye!